Guard! General salute! Salami! Just! Guard! Macho! Just! श्रीमान गार्ड आपका निरीक्षण के लिए हाजिर हैं।
morning to all the distinguished guests who are present here today on this memorable occasion of 76th Independence Day celebrations taking place in our High Court of Andhra Pradesh. I take immense pleasure in extending warm and hearty welcome to Honorable Chief Justice Sri Prashant Kumar Mishra ji, Honorable Judges and respected family members of Honorable Chief Justice and Honorable Judges. I welcome the Learned Advocate General, Assistant Solicitor General, Chairman and members of AP Bar Council, President AP High Court Advocates Association, advocates, public prosecutor and members of legal fraternity, I heartily welcome registrars, judicial officers, staff members, and security wing of High Court, print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. On this momentous occasion of the Independence Day of our nation, which is one of the largest democracies in the world, I extend my heartiest wishes to one and all. With the permission of my Lord Honorable Chief Justice, we may now commence this day of immense pride with Vande Mataram by staff members of the High Court. I request all please stand up for Vande Mataram.
सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरं शुभ्रजोत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनीं पुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
Every Indian, the freedom fighters have collectively fought and freed this country from the clutches of the mighty British Empire, despite their lives were at stake. In honor and memory of those unsung heroes and sacrifices they made, we historically celebrate the Independence Day. Now, I request my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, Sri Prashant Kumar Mishra ji, to hoist the national flag, followed by national anthem and police band.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లాగ్ వచ్చింది ఒకసారి తిప్పను ఫ్లాగ్ వచ్చిందన్నారు దాని గురించి అంటే అటు ఇటు కదిలే తరిగి అవుతున్నాను.
ఆడియో చాలా డౌన్లో ఉంది.
ఆడియో వస్తుంది సార్
డౌన్లో ఉంది.
ఓకే ఓకే అంటే ఇది అయిపోయినాక ఇంకా తర్వాత ఇబ్బంది ఉండదు.
బ్యాగ్ ఆయన పెట్టే వాళ్ళు
పర్లేదు మన ఎన్ని ఇక్కడ ఉంది ప్రాబ్లం.
ఇక్కడ పెట్టేసే కదా ఫస్ట్.
నాకు కొంచెం స్టాండ్ ఇవ్వండి.
May I request Sri K. Janakram Reddy, President, Andhra Pradesh High Court Advocates Association, to deliver his message on the occasion of Independence Day.
The Honorable Chief Justice Sri Prashant Kumar Mishra ji, the Honorable Judges, family members of the Honorable Judges, Land Advocate General, Land Assistant Solicitor General, Honorable Chairman Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Land Public Prosecutor, Registrars of the High Court, Senior Advocates and Colleague Advocates, brothers and sisters. On this prestigious occasion, on completion of 75 years of the world's largest and most vibrant democracy, it gives me privilege to extend warm wishes and greetings to one and all. This day has a special significance as it marks the 76th year of India's independence, for which Azad Ka Amrit Mahotsav is being celebrated. When India won independence 75 years ago, many skeptics thought democracy would not survive in India. Little did they know that roots of democracy were nurtured in the soil in ancient times, and even in modern times, India was ahead of many Western nations in offering franchise to all adults, regardless of any distinctions. The founding fathers had reposed their faith in the wisdom of people, and we, the people of India, have made India a strong democracy. Here I quote a saying by Sarojini Naidu, which says, We want deeper sincerity of motive, a greater courage in speech, and earnestness in action. As we look back to the 75 years of journey of our republic, we have reasons to be proud of the considerable distance we have traveled. Gandhiji taught us that slow and steady steps in the right direction are preferable to rapid strides in the wrong direction. The world looks up at the miracle of India, home to the plurality of tradition and yet the biggest and most vibrant democracy. Today our mind is fearless and our head is high in the sky. As we breathe freely, each and every breath of us holds a high importance in our heart, as we know that such generation is the creation of all freedom fighters. Our constitution neatly summarizes the dreams of those who won the freedom for us in 4 words: justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. We must strive for more equality in an unequal world, more justice in unjust circumstances. Justice has come to encompass a large range of connotations, including economic and environmental justice. The road ahead is not easy. We will have to negotiate many twists and turns, but we have the benefit of incomparable guidance. It comes us from diverse sources, from a venerable seers of millennia ago, down to the sages and leaders of more recent times. In the spirit of unity and diversity, we as a nation are following the right course. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar once said, "So long as you do not achieve social liberty, whatever freedom is provided by the law is of no avail to you." The prestige of the bar depends on the prestige of the court. Bar and bench are complementary to each other. The common ideal of justice shall be the driving force, and the cooperative method shall be the mechanics to reach the ideal. No doubt that these circumstances, celebrations, would bring and instill the enthusiasm of common endeavor to reach the desired goal. On this occasion, I appeal and make a special request to the Honorable Chief Justice that because of shortage of sufficient staff in the concerned sections, advocates, advocate clerks, and litigant public are facing a lot of problems with regard to filing and posting of cases. I renew my request again to the Honorable Chief Justice to consider the proposal of increasing the staff. Let us work together to sustain, nurture the faith of common man in justice delivery system and make the temple of justice so strong. With this, I conclude my speech by recollecting former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastriji words. The preservation of freedom is not the task of soldiers alone. The whole nation has to be strong. I wish you all once again a very happy Independence Day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Janakaram Reddy Garu, President Bar Association. Now may I request Sri Ganta Ramarao Garu to deliver his message on the Independence Day.
The Honorable Chief Justice, Sri Justice Prashant Kumar Ji, Misra Ji, Mrs. Misra Ji, Honorable Judges and family members of Honorable Judges, the Land Advocate General Sri Ram, the President of Bar Association Janakaram Reddy, Assistant Solicitor General Mr. Harnath, Public Prosecutor Mr. Nagareddy, and the other advocate friends, registrar and staff of the High Court, and other concerned media friends and ladies and gentlemen. This is an auspicious occasion. Every year we celebrate, reminding ourselves, recollecting ourselves, and having been enjoying the fruits of the independence. It is the occasion to recollect the contribution that was made by our predecessors, and also reorient ourselves to enjoy the full fruits of the freedom. Of course, now most of the people belong to that generation, born in post-independent generation, and they may not know well about the importance of the independence, because the sacrifices that were made by our predecessors, because of which we are able to enjoy the fruits of the freedom. My dear friends, especially proudly, I can proudly claim that our persons belong to our noble profession contributed major portion in attaining the independence. Every alternative leader of independent movement belonged to this noble profession. Right from Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Prakasham Pantal Garu, Madan Mohan Malvi, many people, we only illustrate. And they sacrificed everything and they jumped into the movement and become instrumental for attaining the independence to our country. And it is maybe now we are enjoying the fruits of the freedom. We may not be able to sacrifice that much, but at least in saying Swantalabam Kontamani, Porlo Melu Talapatavani, at least to the extent possible, without sacrifice on the personal requirements, do something for the common good, do something to preserve this freedom movement. Each and every person, every citizen, when they are able to enjoy the fruits of this freedom, then we will be achieving the purpose of this movement, that sacrifices that were made by our predecessor. Though the President of India, the post of President of India is occupied by a person belong to not only the women but also belong to the downtrodden category. But still, at the bottom level, still lot of things to be done. They have to come up and we have to bring them up. When each one of us got equal opportunity and without any inhibitions, when they are able to join with us, move together, come together, work together, then only we will be able to enjoy the real fruits of the freedom. My dear, especially the three wings of the state, the legislature, executive and judiciary, being a part of this august body, judiciary, it is our duty, because we are able to correct and activate or motivate the other wings of the state when this particular organ of the state effectively function. No doubt in my mind, these, in spite of the difficult days of virus and many obstructions that we are there, ill-equipped, the building and shortcomings in infrastructure, manpower, in spite of that, this institution proved it to stand to the test of difficult times and able to overcome and able to discharge its functions effectively to reach the common man. My dear friends, especially the advocate friends, we shall be proud that we belong to this particular wing, assisting the judiciary, and we need not worry about the other deficiencies when compared to the sacrifices that were made by our predecessor in this profession. What we are doing is very little. Let us adjust with this and go forward and do our little duty in making this institution vibrant and effective by cooperating with the judiciary and going forward. With these few words again, I take this opportunity to wish a successful, because the 75 years is not a long period, it is a short period when compared with the other countries, because exactly the USA got the independence 100 years before we got. We got in 1947, they got in 1847, especially. Incidentally, it is in August 1847 they got the freedom. Therefore, we have a long time to work and compete with developed nations. No doubt, these 75 years we achieved many things. At the time of independence, when we got the independence, we are short of the food grains. We are not able to self-sustain, and we are forced to depend upon many other countries for supply of the food grains. Now, because of Green Revolution, because of various steps taken by the successive governments, now we are able to achieve the target of excessive food and excessive supply of food, and we are able to supply to other countries who are in need of the food. And not only in the agriculture sector, but also industrialization and especially infrastructure we are able to know, especially technology and science and technology. We are able to compete with the developer countries. We are able to launch the space satellites, and we are able to develop the missile technology, and they are able to supply to other countries this missile technology, and therefore we achieved a lot, but yet to be achieved is there a lot of things to be done. And with these few words, once again I congratulate all of you for being and contributing a valuable thing, being part of this institution. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Chairman Bar Council, for your enlightening speech. May I now request Sri Subramaniam Sri Ram, Learned Advocate General, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver his message.
My Lords, the Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable Judges, family members of the Honorable Judges, Chairman Bar Council, Mr. Ganta Ramarao, President Bar Association, Janakram Reddy, Assistant Solicitor General, Harinath, Public Prosecutor, Nagareddy, Senior Counsel, Members Bar Council, Registry Officials, Police Missionary, and the Advocate Fraternity. Greetings to one and all on completion of 75 years of independence and heralding the 76th. We are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The choice of the word Amrit is indigenous and has a significance in the Indian ethos. That being said, it's much better than be reminded of a golden jubilee or a platinum jubilee or a diamond jubilee. Incidentally speaking of which, the Queen of England celebrated recently in the first week of June 2022 the 70th anniversary of accession of Queen of Elizabeth in 1950s. The celebrations happened across all of England's realms. I'm glad we are no longer her realm, and that is all that I would be referring to the Queen on the present day. Amrit in Indian ethos is a tool of immortality which resulted from out of the manthan, the churning of the ocean of milk. India's independence and freedom from colonial rule was perhaps both the part and the result of the manthan that continued for over 100 years, resulting in the sacrifice and the most solemn of sacrifices of the many known, the unknown, the faceless, and those about whom not a paean of praise had been sung. But true with mythology, if we allow the usufruct of that manthan, the nectar, only to be available to a few amongst us, and the venom becomes the partake of the rest of the communities, then truly we would not be, in the real sense of the word, independent. strengthened as the axis of superpower tectonically shifting from west towards the east in the new world order. And as is our ethos, we don't acquire somebody else's, nor do we believe in creeping acquisition of geography as a measure of our presence or our statement of existence. As opposed to the creeping acquisitions of the neighboring nations in our immediate vicinity, we, consistent with our ethos and tradition, continue to look inward and repose faith in democracy that is unique. On to the 76th birthday, we still are looking at many firsts. In a manner speaking, even today is one of the firsts for me as a metaphor. But so long as we rededicate ourselves to achieving whatever we are poised to, with inclusive participation, with possibility of aspirations being fulfilled within the framework of what we have all sought to achieve, I think we are well on our way to being recognized as one of the modern, free, vibrant, independent nations with a potential of leadership to be shown to the entire world. While greeting all of you and taking pride in the fact that all of us are able to breathe the free air, that is the result of sacrifice of many of those stalwarts that gave up everything, we'll have to also rededicate ourselves towards ensuring that this free air continues to flow, to pass on to the next generations who, without prejudice, without bias, without fear, will continue to breathe and survive. May God bless this country.
Thank you very much, Learned Advocate General, for your informative speech. May I now request my Lord Honorable Chief Justice, Sri Prashant Kumar Mishra ji, to give his Lordship's Independence Day message.
My esteemed sister and brother judges, Mr. Subramanian Sri Ram, Learned Advocate General, Sri Janaki Rami Reddy, President AP High Court Advocates Association, Sri Gantar Amara, Chairman Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Additional Advocate General, Assistant Solicitor General, Public Prosecutor, Law Officers, all senior advocates, respected members of the bar, officers and staff of the High Court, members of print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I extend my heartiest felicitations and best wishes to all of you on this momentous occasion of 76th Independence Day of our great nation. This was the day when the provisions of the Indian Independence Act 1947 transferring legislative sovereignty to the Indian Constituent Assembly came into effect. It marked the end of British rule and establishment of a free and independent Indian nation. The Independence Day reminds every Indian about the dawn of a new beginning, the beginning of an era of deliverance from the clutches of British colonialism of more than 200 years. India's gaining of independence was a test with destiny, as the struggle for freedom was a long and tiresome one, witnessing the sacrifices of many freedom fighters, irrespective of their caste, creed, sex, reason, religion, who sacrificed their lives. Over the last 75 years, India has channeled her civilizational strength and cultural diversity into a brand new future, opportunities for achievement, progress, and prosperity for its citizenry, making it an inspiration for the rest of the world. We need to introspect whether the constitutional vision and the aspirations that our founding fathers had for the generations of the future are realized. we are now celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to celebrate and commemorate 75 years of independence and the glorious history of its people, culture and achievements. This program is dedicated to the people of India who have played a pivotal role in bringing India this far in this evolutionary journey. Har Ghar Tiranga is a campaign under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to encourage people to bring the Tiranga home and to hoist it to mark the 75th years of India's independence. Our relationship with the flag has always been more formal and institutional than personal. Bringing the flag home together as a nation in the 75th years of independence becomes symbolic of not only an act of personal connection to the Tiranga, but also an embodiment of our commitment to nation building. The object behind the initiative is to invoke the feelings of patriotism in the hearts of people and to promote awareness about the Indian national flag. To conjoin the two, this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and Har Ghar Tiranga, what I feel is the nectar of the independence, that is the soul of the independence. The first nectar was our constitution. That was the biggest and the outball of the nectar which the independence and our freedom fighters have provided and gifted and donated us. And then each drop of that nectar, that is the constitutional provisions, each constitutional provision is a drop of the nectar. Each fundamental right is a drop of the nectar. And when every individual in this vibrant democracy enjoys that freedom, that right, that entitlement, then the nectar of independence is spread, is distributed to all of us, all of the citizens. Therefore, we can very easily say that the constitutional nectar of our independence is made available to every individual in this country, every citizen in this country. And we should celebrate. We should not criticize that this is not available to us, that is not available to us. These duties and rights, they go hand by hand. This, when we seek our right for the nectar, we must be ready to struggle for that nectar. Unless we struggle and contribute, we have no right to ask for that nectar. The nectar is available only to those who vouch for the nation, who contribute for the nation building, and it is not that we have to be on the front page of the newspaper to be involved in the nation building activity. It is our own duty from 10:30 to 5 in your workplace that we contribute and we ask for our entitlement of that nectar. When we contribute to the nation building by doing our best of what is assigned to us, what work is assigned to us, that is the very theme of the constitutional worshipping of the nation. Worshipping is not achieved only when we go to temples or some religious place. It is the workplace which we worship for worshipping the nation, and that is how we should understand the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It is the churning which gave us the nectar. The Amrit Manthan, which happened mythologically thousands and lakhs of years ago, was the Amrit Manthan of freedom struggle. That Amrit Manthan, that churning gave us this Amrit of Azadi and the Amrit of democracy and the Amrit nectar of this constitution. And I wish all the constituent of the High Court and this our great nation very, very, very grand good wishes, and may God give us the inspiration, the motivation, the zeal and the commitment to serve the institution so that the institution itself our robust judiciary contributes to the nation building activity, and our flag unfurls high and our head remains high. Thank you so much.
Thank the Honorable Chief Justice for your Lordship's valuable and enlightening Independence Day message, particularly work is worship. Now the staff members of the High Court will sing patriotic song Sare Jahan Se Acha.
सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी ये गुल सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा पर्वत वो सबसे ऊंचा हम साया आसमां का पर्वत वो सबसे ऊंचा हम साया आसमां का वो संतरी हमारा वो पासुबा हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा गोदी में खेलती है इसकी हजारों नदियां गोदी में खेलती है इसकी हजारों नदियां गुलशन है जिसके दम से रश के जिला हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैल रखना मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैल रखना हिंदी है हम वतन है हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सीता हमारा सारे जहां से अच्छा हम बुलबुले हैं इसके ये गुल सीता हमारा हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी ये गुल सीता हमारा
We thank the Honorable Chief Justice for taking personal attention in guiding us for conducting this Independence Day function. We thank all the Honorable Judges and family members for their gracious presence. We also thank the Learned Advocate General, Chairman Bar Council and President AP High Court Advocates Association, Learned Senior Advocates, registrars, judicial officers and staff, police personnel, print and electronic media for attending the Independence Day celebration and making this event a memorable one. Now it is time for National Anthem by the staff members of the High Court.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय
With the permission of my Lord Honorable Chief Justice, I declare that the flag hoisting ceremony is concluded. Now I request all the dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, to have refreshments arranged inside the building.
Happy Independence Day, brother. Happy Independence Day. Congratulations.
బట్టలు